Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to do a video. I do have a video, but it's older, so I thought I would do an updated version because a lot of people ask me all the time, how do you color control yarn and what is color controlling yarn? Well, I'll go over it briefly with you. Color controlling your yarn means pretty much what it says. You control where you put the color of your yarn if you're using certain types of yarn. So of course you know it's going to work with solids, so like you can do a row of solids and cut off and do another color of solids. Color control refers mainly to like striped yarns and things like that. Now, I am a very big stickler with color control. I very much enjoy color controlling my projects because I prefer the look of color control. If you do not color control, you'll have breaks where you're in the middle of your project where your new color, striped color starts. And that's fine. Some people like that, but I myself prefer not to have that. So I pretty much color control almost everything that I do. So I'll show you some yarns that you would be easy to color control and how I go about it. And I'll show you some yarns that you probably wouldn't want to color control. So any variegated type of yarn like this, you're not going to want to color control it because the colors changing them are so short it would be virtually impossible to color control. They're just not made for color control. They're just a busy type of yarn made for lots of color and lots of color change. So variegateds like this with short stripes, very short stripes, like these are 3 inches or something like that, don't even bother with those. Another type of yarn that you probably wouldn't color control would be a striped yarn that does not have long striping. It's different than variegated. It's considered a striped yarn, but the stripes are not extremely long in them. You know, they may only be 3 feet or so. That's just not really long enough to 3 or 4 feet. I don't know, maybe even 6 feet. But that's just not long enough really to take the time to color control. It's just not work, because color controlling does take more time than a regular project. So yarns that have, they're striped. This isn't made to be a striped yarn, but the stripes are very, very short. So definitely not one that I would generally color control. The same with like the Caron anniversary cakes. Now, these are a striped yarn, as you can see, but they don't have extremely long color stripes, so I never ever color control a Caron anniversary cake because the stripes just aren't long enough for me to bother doing it. It would just, I usually make blankets and stuff with this type of yarn, and it would just, they're just too short in a Caron anniversary cake. Yarns that are good for color control would be yarns like Red Heart stripes. Now, they do have a longer striping effect, not as quite as long as some that I'm going to mention. Now, Red Heart stripes are ones that sometimes I will color control if I'm working a smaller project. Because the stripes are longer, but they're not as long as some of the ones I'm going to show you. But if I'm working a bigger project like a poncho, you probably won't see me color control it because the stripes aren't long enough for me to want to do that. Okay, now yarns that you would want to color control. A prime example of a color control yarn would be a mandala yarn. They have very long stripes in them. This is a regular mandala. You can see that. And this is a mandala roving. See the long stripes in those. These are prime color control yarns. Here's one from Hobby. This is their lollipop yarn. Very, very nice yarn to color control with. I have a scarf on my channel made out of one of these that I color controlled. It color controlled quite nicely. So long striping yarns are the best for color control. Short stripes, no, I really don't waste my time with those. But yarns that have medium stripes in them, like red heart stripes and stuff, I will if I'm doing a small project, you know, like a hat or something. So now that we went over that, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Push my camera back. I don't want to be way up in your face. There we go. I'm going to show you what you do to color control. So color control is just, you know, like I said, you just are controlling where the color goes. So what I have here is a mandala roving yarn. This is one of my favorite yarns. It's a very nice yarn. So what I'll do is I will take the cake apart. Some people always ask me, why do you take the cake of yarn apart if you're just going to put it back together? Well, mandala roving does not make solid colors. If they did, I would not take their cakes apart to color control them. I would just buy their solid cakes. So that is not an option. If I want, say I'm making a sweater and I want every row to be completely one color and not have breaks in it, I have to color control it. So what I'll do is I'll take a cake like this and they're very easy, pull them apart. Some people are like, I can't believe you do this. Trust me, once you do it, it's the only way. You'll see. And you'll see where there is a connection between the colors there. Well, usually I'll clip it, and there I have one color to work with. Now I'll go and I'll dig in the middle here and pick out my next color. Try not to tangle it too much. Clip it. And I have my next color. And you can put them in any order that you want. I generally use it the order that they come out of the cake, but you can definitely do it how you want. Pull my next color out. I know you think it's going to be a tangled mess, but really it's not. You can use it like this, which I generally do, or you can cake it up if you have a yarn ball winder and use it like that. I'll go to my next color here and pull it out. Ooh, I didn't get it all. There we go. Clip it there. And then I'll have my last color. So now they are all separated, all my colors. And I can use them in any order that I want. There, like that, see? So, say I want to start off and I want to make a scarf. And I want each color to be the same on each row. So I will work up whatever my chosen color is. Say I'll work up this white. Say I want to use the entire ball of white. So I'll use the entire ball of white back and forth, or whatever pattern you're doing, round and around, until there isn't enough left to go around again. Until you know that you cannot make another complete round or another complete row with the amount of yarn that you have left. That's when you stop at the end of that row, clip whatever you have left of this. There will be a little bit left of the color that you're using, and start your next color. And you go around and around or back and forth with this color, your next color, until you know that you can no longer do another complete round or another complete row with it. And then you would clip it off there at the beginning of your row or at the end of your row, the beginning of your round, and start your next color. So that's color control. You're controlling where you put the color, in what order the color goes in. You're not just pulling from the center of the cake and using it as it goes with the breaks in between your projects of colors. Like if I was to use this color right here to make a scarf, in the middle of my scarf I'm going to have a break where this pink turns to this color of red. And then I'm going to go and go and go, and eventually I'm going to have a break in another spot in the middle of my scarf where this red turned to this pink. I'm not a big fan of that non-consistent look. I like it to be very consistent. So I pull my yarns apart and I control them to where at the end of the row where I know my color is not going to go around again, I'll switch it over. So there is no break. It's all clean. It's all just every row is exactly the same. No breaks in color. It's just complete harmony. Well, for me, because I'm a color control freak. But not everybody likes to color control. There is a bit of waste with color control. Not a lot. Some people ask me about that. There's not a lot of waste with it, but there will be a little bit because, like I said, there'll be some, you know, you'll get to hear and you'll know, hey, this isn't enough to go around again, so you'll have to clip it off. But you can always use scraps to, you know, little scraps like that to fill stuffed animals or amigurumi and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how you do it. That's how I do it anyways. And remember, I color control. A lot of people are always like, here's another prime example of a good yarn to color control is Caron's new cloud cakes. Very nice long collar stripes would be very nice to color control. I would definitely color control this yarn. When I use it, I will. But like I said, a lot of people's like, I think color control is just a waste of time. It's a waste of yarn. I don't know why you do it. I do it because they don't make solids in the yarns that I want to use. So, like I said, they don't make solid mandala rovings, or I would just buy a cake of each solid, and then I wouldn't have to break open the cake into a bunch of different pieces. They don't make solid mandalas. If they did, I'd buy them. If they made solid blue, solid yellow, solid orange, I'd buy them. And then I wouldn't have to cut this cake apart to control where my color goes. So that's why I do it. So Lion Brand, Red Heart, Hobby, make some solid colors of some of these so we don't have to control the color. Well, we will at the end of each row, but it'll be solid so it's easier. You won't have to cut the cakes apart. But anyways, that's how it's done. Just remember, variegated, no, you don't want to start, you can't color control that. That would be virtually impossible. Short stripes that are like, 6 feet maybe, not worth your time. Longer stripes like the Red Heart stripes, color control if you want to color control smaller projects. I definitely never color control, like I said, the anniversary cakes, it's not worth it for me to do that. But the cakes that have long stripes, like the mandalas and, any cakes that you see like this, can be taken apart easily. They pull out, each color pulls out very easily, and you clip it, and then you have your separate colors, which you can either cake up. I never do. I just use them right from how I pull them out, and it works just fine for me. And you have a nice, consistent, non-breaking colors in the middle of your project. I did my son a sweater not too long ago. I don't know where it went, but I decided I would not color control it for like the very first time ever, and I didn't like it. I'm like, what in the world possessed me not to even color control that yarn? Because it was very easy to color control it, but I just decided I wouldn't do it just to see what it was like. I don't like it. So I'm a color controller. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope that clears it up. I also have another video maybe that you can watch. It's an older one, but maybe it goes into more detail. I don't think that it does. It probably says pretty much the same thing, but just that's how you do it. That's how you roll with the color control. I highly recommend it, but remember, it's not for everybody. Some people like the breaks, and everybody is different, to each their own, whatever works for you. But I just wanted to give you the gist on how I color control. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you on my next video.